All right, guys and gals, this first topic I'm actually really excited to talk about. So, James Gunn, Pierce Saffran, they've been appointed as new CEOs of Warner Brothers Discovery, new DCU Studios. I think this is a whole like a big reboot, definitely a universe reset, and trying to move on from the DCEU. There's still a few films slated to be coming out later this year in theaters, so that's a good thing. But still, with the new projects already announced, at least tentative release dates, it's all really good and exciting, and there is some hope. So I'm going to be talking about that, and I am very excited. So what this means is that later this year, we're going to see DCEU films like Shazam: the Fury of the Gods, The Flash, a Blue Beetle film in the summer, and also Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom from the DCEU. Then it's going to be a universe reset. So DC Universe, a slate of films and TV shows. It's going to be kind of like a phase that we've seen from Marvel Studios. It's going to be called Chapter 1, The Gods of Monsters. Now, in terms of the film projects announced, first I'm going to talk about Superman Legacy. Supposedly, there's a release date for July 11, 2025. Now, it is going to be written by Gunn and just focusing on Superman balancing his normal life and Kryptonian life, which strangely sounds similar to Spider Man films we've seen over the past 2 decades. But also another film called The Authority. That's definitely new. It's like Wildstorm characters that are going to be joining the DCEU as the Authority and taking matters into their own hands and doing whatever they believe is right, which kind of sounds like anti heroes in a way, vigilantism, and so forth. The Brave and the Bold is another interesting one. It seems like it's one of those comic book stories that were inspired by Grant Morrison, and it'll have an introduction of Batman and Damian Wayne as Robin in this film, kind of like a father son dynamic. So that'll be really cool to see. It's a first for Batman films, live action at the very least. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which will be based on Tom King's comic book series. And yeah, of course, it's going to be a sci fi adventure about Supergirl, but I mean, I don't know. Will it be as good as the TV series? Because the TV show that mostly lasted on the CW, although the show was like for 6 seasons, but 5 out of the 6 on the CW, will it be just as good? Hopefully, it's better than the 1984 Supergirl film, that's for sure. And there's the Swamp Thing film, kind of like exploring or investigating the dark origins of Swamp Thing. I mean, I just hope it goes well. I can't help but now, but thinking back how there was like a Swamp Thing TV show. I mean, it was one season, and by the time the first season started, it already got canceled. So that whole situation was kind of weird. But yeah, continuing on with the television projects announced. Uh, Creature Commandos. It's gonna be like a 7 episode animated show with Amanda Waller creating a Black Ops team of monstrous prisoners, sort of like a cartoon Suicide Squad that we're used to. And coincidentally, there's a solo Waller show, although it's more of a live action with Viola Davis expected to reprise her role in the same character, and also feature characters like Peacemaker. So expect John Cena to come back as Peacemaker. Booster Gold, that's a good one. At least I hope it will be a good one. Starring a character that's like using basic technology from the future and trying to be a superhero. So, and Lanterns. It'll be like a true detective kind of story. This will be kind of interesting. It'll have characters like Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan uncovering a dark mystery. I think there's optimism to believe that this Lantern show will hopefully be as good, or I should say, definitely much better than the Green Lantern film. I think the Green Lantern characters being adapted into a TV series, I think the chances of this being successful are high. And then there's also Paradise Lost. So it's basically like a Game of Thrones style show set in Themyscira, home of the Amazons and birthplace of Wonder Woman. That'll be good to see with with drama and political intrigue on an island of women, so and all that. Now, I should mention without forgetting, there's like on this image I'm looking at, there's also a slate of movies separately going to be released later on, known as DC Elseworlds, which includes later this year Joker, Folie et Dieu, sometime in the future, The Batman Part 2, a sequel to March 22's The Batman that starred Robin Pattinson. And yeah, there's still Superman and Lois on the CW, and then like the Teen Titans Go TV show. So those are just separate from DC Elseworlds. Once I think the whole DCEU is done, I think then all the focus will go to DC Universe Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters. And it's just funny how James Gunn, who's done working on Guardians of the Galaxy, slated for this May, now will have all his attention here on DC. And also the character, no, not just the characters, the actors who portrayed some of the characters in recent DCU films. The door is open if they want to come back, but there's no guarantee anyway, so just keep that part in mind. And I like how Gunn was saying he didn't like how the whole Superman casting issue was handled. It's basically saying, well, like, we didn't fire Henry. He was never casted. He was like in a cameo from that Black Adam film. And a lot of people made assumptions that weren't true. I like him. He's a great guy. I just didn't like how, to say cleanly, he was kind of tossed around between not knowing what to do or what to do, and then stepping down from his role as Geralt of Rivia from the Witcher series, assuming that he would be back again, spending more time as Superman, and things didn't go the other way. So I understand why James Gunn is frustrated for him. And also taking critical shots at previous leadership, whether it's Joss Whedon or maybe Zack Snyder, on the leadership kind of being really fucked up, and saying how, like, when you put a writer and director in an executive role, then things don't work out, and not having a great approach to very popular IP. So I can see his point of view there, but with Gunn and Saffran now in charge of the new DC studios, I mean, I think there's reason to be optimistic. Things are finally looking up. I mean, will it rival the success of Marvel Studios? It's going to take a lot of time. They're very late. But you know what? It doesn't matter. If there's a clear vision, there's a clear path for more success and plenty of victorious moments, I should say, as well.